Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here for another week of Tech and Geekery, bringing you all the tech news you need to know. And fun fact, I'm using a new mic today from my friends over at Pluggable. This podcast is not sponsored by Pluggable. And I was wondering how I sound. Let me know on Twitter at DigitDaily or via email at hello@digitdaily.com. Thanks in advance, but for now, it is February 4th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. First, a programming note that isn't really a programming note. I don't really care about Maroon 5, the Super Bowl, or SpongeBob, so personally, I really don't give a crap about this uproar going around. The creator of SpongeBob unfortunately passed away last November, and someone got it in their head that Maroon 5 should play a song from SpongeBob during the halftime show. Apparently, 1 million people signed a petition asking for this, and sports writers everywhere were dousing their drawers at the thought of it. Folks, a lot of people died in 2018, and some of them were famous and wrote songs too. Did we expect Maroon 5 to take one of the biggest shows in their careers and turn them into a $5 cover band? No, so shut up about it, okay? Your hate mail can be directed to Digit Daily on Twitter or hello@digit.com. And now, on with the show. Hootsuite and We Are Social released their annual report on internet usage, and not shockingly, a lot of people around the world use the internet. But they don't all listen to the Digit Daily, so leave a review on iTunes, will ya? Anyway, there are 221 slides in this deck, so we TLDR'd it for you. First, the number of unique smartphone users around the world rose by just 2%, one of which is my daughter, I'm sorry to say. But the overall meaning here is that everyone who wants a smartphone has a smartphone or is still in diapers. Plus, according to a number of polls, including one at Android Authority, which is a website dedicated to smartphones, people are holding onto their smartphones for longer. So if everyone has a smartphone and people aren't replacing their smartphones, what does that mean for smartphone makers? Well, nothing good. Anyone wondering why foldables are going to be such a thing this year? Wonder no more. But my prediction is, it won't help. Now, as for being connected, we've got a lot of data there too, and it's really cool data. The average time per day spent on the internet ranges from 3 hours 45 minutes in Japan to 10 hours and 2 minutes in the Philippines. The US sits at 6 hours and 38 minutes. Let's just say that the Dowd household skews more towards the Philippines. Richer nations tend to spend less time online, which is interesting, but I suppose not entirely surprising. Finally, the report notes that people will spend a total of more than 1.2 billion with a B years online in 2019. Let me say that again. People will spend more than 1.2 billion with a B years online in 2019. I'll be wrapping my head around that stat for the rest of the day. Thank you very much. What is the most interesting number there is Japan. Now, Japan spends the least time online per capita than anywhere else in the world, except places that don't have the internet, obviously. But even there, they spend 3 hours and 45 minutes online, and that's still a lot of time. I don't think that speaks to a degradation of society, or I don't want to get on a soapbox where I say we spend too much time online. Far from it. I think that speaks to the ubiquity of technology in general, and I, for one, am a proponent of that. I'm not saying that we have to go full Wall-E on a cruise ship, but being online is a fact of life today, and even the people doing it the least are still devoting more than 1/6 of their lives to it. Let that sink in for a while we head into the Roundup! And speaking of roundups, TechCrunch has a roundup of all the tech commercials from the Super Bowl yesterday, and no, I didn't just watch the Microsoft commercials, so you could just shut up about it. Seriously though, it's really good. Google represented too with some Google Translate facts, and I'm going to play you a clip here.
The most translated words in the world are "How are you?" "Thank you." and "I love you."
Now, "How are you?" and "Thank you" makes sense, but I don't want to judge here, but if you need Google Translate to say "I love you," you might want to re-examine your priorities just a bit. I'm sorry, I'm calling bullshit on that one, Google. Along with that, we got movie trailers, most notably for Captain Marvel, Toy Story, and Avengers Endgame, and I think the most remarkable part about the Avengers trailer is that it managed to tell us even less than the original Avengers Endgame trailer. God, April, would you just get here already? Oh, and it's very possible Jordan Peele is a freaking genius. Over the weekend, electronic music artist Marshmello held a live concert event thing in Fortnite. Marshmello advertised this as part of his tour, and Fortnite had posters leading up to the event. It's an interesting look at how entertainment is evolving. Kids spend hours on Fortnite every day. This may be how they attend concerts in the future, which is both cool and kind of sad, but I'll get really nervous when they start having Fortnite-hosted sporting events. Android Authority has ranked the top 50 projects killed by Google, and frankly, it's about time someone did. Google has had, and killed, a lot of great products over the years, but my favorite is arguably iGoogle. Google claimed at the time, quote, "The need for iGoogle eroded over time due to maturing capabilities of websites and mobile apps." And despite that, I have yet to find an adequate replacement. Though, if I'm telling the truth, a combination of Google Feed and the Digit Daily really does help keep me up to date, and that's why I love getting it, and why I love working on it even more. And finally, Snopes turned down $100,000 from Facebook to be a fact-checker for the social media site. That sounds like a lot of money, and it's weird since Snopes is my fact-checker for everything I find on Facebook anyway. But there's a lot to the arrangement that we don't know, and the Verge article doesn't really make it all that clear how Snopes was working differently for Facebook than it was for itself. All that was clear was that Snopes didn't think $100,000 was good enough for what they were doing, and ultimately, I'm not surprised. Oh, and Facebook. So now that I've pulled out my Monday bleeps, let's go ahead and wrap up this edition of A Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast player. Oh, and don't forget to reach out about this new mic. I'm genuinely curious as to how you like it or hate it. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.